5 food habits you might think are harmless. But after 60, they can quietly accelerate how your body ages from the inside out. I'm talking about choices that seem normal, even healthy, that many of us make every single day without realizing they may be dulling our vitality, clouding our energy, and making us look and feel older than we need to. Here's what's interesting. In parts of Japan, especially Okinawa, elders in their 70s and 80s often show fewer signs of this kind of rapid aging. They're not taking exotic supplements or following extreme diets. Instead, they practice 2 incredibly simple daily habits that seem to do the exact opposite of what these 5 common foods do. Today, we're counting down 5 food habits that may be quietly making you age faster after 60. And then I'll show you 2 calm, time-tested Japanese practices that many say help reverse those effects. They take no deprivation, no extremes, just quiet daily rhythm. And we'll get to those 2 near the end. Stay with me. I'm here to help adults over 60 build steadier energy and aging confidence through simple, evidence-based habits. Everything I share comes from a place of respect for your experience and your body's wisdom. This video is for general wellness information, not medical advice. If you take medications or have existing health conditions, please check with your clinician before making changes to your diet or daily routine. My goal is to inform and empower, never to replace your doctor's guidance. Before we dive in, I'm curious. Do you usually feel lighter or heavier after your evening meal? And which of your daily meals gives you the most steady energy versus the biggest energy swings? Comment below. I read every one, and your answers help me create better content for our community. Most of us grew up thinking that as long as we avoid obviously unhealthy foods, we're doing fine. Eat your vegetables, don't overdo the sweets, stay active, and aging would take care of itself. And for a long time, that approach worked reasonably well. But something shifts after 60. Your digestive system slows down. Stomach acid production decreases. The way your body responds to sugar and sodium changes. Your cells become less efficient at clearing out inflammation. Even your sleep repair cycles don't work quite the same way they did at 40. What this means is that foods you tolerated easily in your younger years can now create subtle problems. A meal that once gave you energy might now leave you foggy. Snacks that used to feel harmless might now disrupt your sleep. Portions that seemed normal may now leave your body working overtime just to process them. Let me give you an example. I spoke with a woman named Barbara, 72, who told me she'd been eating the same breakfast for 20 years, toast with jam and orange juice. She couldn't understand why. Suddenly in her late 60s, she started feeling exhausted by mid-morning and craving sweets all afternoon. It wasn't until she changed her morning routine that everything shifted. Her energy stabilized, her cravings faded, and she told me she felt 10 years younger within 2 weeks. The truth is, these 5 habits aren't your enemy. They're just mismatched with how your body works now. Don't fear them. Just understand them. And later in this video, I'll show you how Japanese elders seem to adapt in ways that prevent these same issues entirely. Their approach isn't about restriction or perfectionism. It's about rhythm, balance, and deep respect for what the body needs at different stages of life. Processed meats and sausages. Most of us think of deli meats, bacon, and sausages as convenient protein sources. Quick breakfast, easy sandwich filling, satisfying dinner addition. They're flavorful, filling, and widely available. We've been eating them for decades. But after 60, these processed meats can backfire in ways that quietly accelerate aging. Here's why. They're typically loaded with sodium and preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. While your younger body could handle these compounds more easily, your aging cardiovascular system becomes more sensitive to them. High sodium intake can stiffen your blood vessels over time, raising blood pressure and forcing your heart to work harder. The preservatives in processed meats have been linked to increased inflammation throughout the body. The kind of chronic, low-grade inflammation that ages your skin, dulls your energy, and makes your joints ache more than they should. I remember talking with Thomas, 68, who loved his morning bacon and evening cold cuts. He couldn't figure out why his ankles were swelling and his blood pressure kept creeping up despite his medication. When he reduced his processed meat intake and replaced it with fresh fish and eggs, his swelling decreased noticeably within 3 weeks, and his energy felt clearer. What to watch for? Morning puffiness in your face or ankles, blood pressure readings that creep higher, or a general sense of inflammation. That feeling where your body just feels thicker or less comfortable in your own skin. A safety note here. You don't have to eliminate these foods entirely if you enjoy them, but consider limiting them to once or twice a week rather than daily, and when you do eat them, balance your meal with plenty of fresh vegetables and water throughout the day to help your body process the sodium more easily. 4. Sugary drinks and desserts. Most of us grew up enjoying sweet treats without much thought. A soda with lunch, dessert after dinner, a sweetened coffee in the afternoon. It feels like a simple pleasure, a small reward in a busy day. But after 60, that quick sweetness creates problems your body didn't face before. When you consume sugar rapidly, especially in liquid form or refined desserts, your blood sugar spikes fast. Your pancreas has to work hard to release insulin and bring that sugar back down. Over time, this creates a pattern of inflammation and insulin resistance. Here's what happens. Chronic elevated blood sugar damages the proteins in your skin through a process that makes your skin less elastic and more prone to wrinkles. It also triggers inflammatory compounds that circulate through your bloodstream, dulling your mental clarity, disrupting your sleep quality, and making you feel older than your years. The inflammation doesn't just affect how you look. It affects how you feel. Many people describe a kind of mental fog, afternoon energy crashes, and disrupted sleep patterns that they never connected to their sugar intake. I spoke with Helen, 71, who had been drinking sweet iced tea throughout the day for as long as she could remember. She started noticing her skin looking duller and her energy becoming unpredictable. When she switched to unsweetened herbal teas and saved desserts for special occasions, she told me her skin looked brighter within a month and her energy felt smooth instead of spiking and crashing. What to watch for? Afternoon energy crashes, increased thirst, skin that looks less vibrant, and sleep that feels less restorative even when you're in bed for 8 hours. And here's something important. Later in this video, you'll see a Japanese daily habit that keeps blood sugar calm without strict dieting or feeling deprived. It's gentle, it's enjoyable. And many elders say it completely changed how they feel throughout the day. 3. Late night snacking. Most of us think of a small evening snack as harmless, maybe even comforting. A bowl of cereal before bed, some crackers while watching television, a little something sweet to end the day. It feels like a small pleasure that helps us wind down. But after 60, late-night snacking forces your digestive system to work when your body should be entering deep rest and repair mode. Your metabolism naturally slows in the evening. Your digestive enzymes become less active. Your body is preparing to shift all its resources towards cellular repair, immune function, and memory consolidation during sleep. When you eat close to bedtime, several things happen. Your stomach produces acid and churns food while you're trying to lie flat, which can cause reflux and discomfort. Your blood sugar rises at a time when your body's insulin response is sluggish, leading to poor sleep quality. Your body diverts energy away from repair processes and toward digestion instead. The result? Shallow sleep, morning grogginess, and a feeling that you never truly rested even though you were in bed for 7 or 8 hours. Over time, this pattern can accelerate aging because your body isn't getting the deep, restorative sleep it needs to repair cellular damage. I remember Maria, 69, who always had a snack around 9 or 10 at night. She complained about waking up multiple times, feeling congested, and starting every morning feeling unrested. When she moved her last meal to finish by 7:30 and kept her evenings light, she told me her sleep became noticeably deeper, and she started waking up feeling genuinely refreshed for the first time in years. What to watch for? Waking up with a bad taste in your mouth, feeling bloated in the morning, sleep that feels restless, and energy that takes hours to build after waking. A safety note: if you genuinely feel hungry late at night, it might mean your dinner wasn't substantial enough or balanced properly. Consider eating a larger, protein-rich dinner earlier in the evening so you feel satisfied through the night without needing extra food. 2. Refined white bread and rice. Most of us consider bread and rice as staple foods, easy to prepare, easy to digest, and universally accepted as part of a normal diet. White bread for sandwiches, white rice as a side dish. They've been on our plates for generations. But after 60, these refined grains become a hidden problem. During processing, the fiber and nutrients are stripped away, leaving mostly starch that your body converts to sugar very quickly. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin surges, and within an hour or two, you're left feeling tired and often hungry again. Here's what's happening. Without fiber to slow digestion, refined grains move through your system too fast. You don't feel full for long. Your gut doesn't get the prebiotic fiber it needs to support healthy bacteria. Your blood sugar roller coaster continues meal after meal, day after day, creating chronic inflammation and metabolic stress. Over time, this pattern makes it harder to maintain steady energy, easier to gain weight around your midsection, and more likely that you'll develop insulin resistance. All of which accelerate the aging process and make you feel sluggish and older than you need to. I spoke with Robert, 74, who ate white toast every morning and white rice with most dinners. He described feeling hit by a truck after meals and never understanding why. When he switched to whole grain bread and brown rice, he noticed within days that his post-meal fatigue disappeared. He told me it felt like someone had turned the lights back on. What to watch for: energy crashes after meals, constant hunger even shortly after eating, afternoon cravings for more carbohydrates or sweets, and a general sense of metabolic sluggishness. And here's the good news. Soon in this video, you'll discover a Japanese way of eating that keeps portions naturally balanced and digestion smooth, without counting a single calorie or following complicated rules. It's built into the culture, practiced daily, and many say it keeps them feeling light and vital well into their 80s. 1. Overeating out of habit. Most of us were taught to finish what's on our plate. Clean plate club. Don't waste food. Eat until you're full. These messages became so deeply ingrained that we often eat past the point of comfortable satisfaction without even realizing it. But after 60, overeating, even healthy food, becomes the number one habit that can strain your organs and accelerate aging. Your stomach capacity hasn't changed, but your digestive power has decreased. Your metabolism has slowed. Your body simply can't process large volumes of food as efficiently as it once could. When you consistently eat until you're completely full, several things happen. Your stomach stretches and puts pressure on nearby organs. Your digestive system works overtime, pulling blood and energy away from other vital functions. Your blood sugar rises higher. Cellular cleanup processes that should happen during periods of lightness get delayed. Japanese researchers have studied this extensively in Okinawa, where people regularly live past 90 in good health. One of the most consistent patterns they found was that Okinawan elders naturally stop eating before they feel completely full. They eat until satisfied, not stuffed. This simple difference seems to play a massive role in their longevity and vitality. I remember speaking with David, 71, who always cleared his plate because that's what he was taught growing up. He felt heavy after meals, struggled with reflux, and his energy would plummet after eating. When he started leaving just a little food on his plate and eating slower, he told me he felt lighter. His digestion improved dramatically, and his afternoon energy stayed steady instead of crashing. What to watch for: feeling uncomfortably full after meals, needing to loosen your belt or clothing, experiencing reflux or heaviness, and post-meal fatigue that makes you want to lie down. Here's the truth: your body doesn't need to feel stuffed to be nourished. In fact, leaving a little space, eating to about 80% full, gives your digestive system room to work comfortably and your body space to focus on repair and vitality instead of just processing volume. It might sound discouraging to hear about all these habits, but don't worry, we're about to shift into something much more hopeful. The 2 Japanese practices I'm going to share seem to naturally prevent all 5 of these issues without requiring willpower or strict discipline. They're gentle, enjoyable, and built into a way of life that produces some of the longest living, most vital elders on the planet. Thank you for staying with me through these 5 habits. If you're finding this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give this video a quick like. It helps more seniors discover this information. And please keep watching, because we're about to cover 2 calm, everyday Japanese practices that may help reverse all 5 of these aging patterns at once. What I'm about to share isn't complicated, but it's powerful in its simplicity. Now let's talk about what many Japanese elders do instead. Gentle, everyday habits that seem to protect them from the very issues we just covered. These aren't difficult practices. They don't require special ingredients or equipment. They're simply ways of approaching food and daily rhythm that have been refined over generations. 2. Harahachi Bu. Eating until 80% full. This is the Okinawan practice of eating until you're about 80% full rather than completely satisfied or stuffed. The phrase harahachi bu literally means belly 8 parts full. It's a gentle reminder that's been passed down through generations, spoken quietly before and during meals as a way to stay mindful. Here's why it helps. When you stop at 80%, your stomach has space to digest comfortably. Your blood sugar rises more gradually. Your insulin doesn't spike as dramatically. Your body can direct energy towards cellular repair and cleanup rather than working overtime to process excess food. You avoid the post-meal crash and the inflammatory burden of overeating. Over time, this practice seems to support healthy weight, better digestion, more stable energy, and the kind of lightness that lets you stay active and engaged throughout the day. How to practice harahachi bu. Practice this at every meal, but especially at dinner when overeating most commonly happens. Eat slowly and deliberately. Put your utensils down between bites. Pause halfway through your meal and check in with your body. Ask yourself, am I starting to feel satisfied? When you notice the first signs of comfortable fullness, not hunger anymore, but not stuffed either, that's your 80% point. Stop there. A helpful visual is to serve yourself slightly less than what looks like a normal portion. If you usually fill your plate, leave about 20% of the space empty from the start, or use a smaller plate so the portions look satisfying without being excessive. This is a daily practice, ideally at every meal. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks for it to feel natural, rather than restrictive. The beauty of harahachi bu is that you're not measuring or counting anything. You're simply learning to listen to your body's signals again. Many people find that after years of eating until full, they'd forgotten what satisfied but light even feels like. This practice helps you rediscover that feeling. I spoke with Keiko, 71, who started practicing harahachi bu after years of feeling heavy and tired after meals. She told me that within a week, she noticed her digestion felt calmer, less bloating, less reflux. Within a month, she'd lost a few pounds without trying, and her energy throughout the day felt more consistent. She described it as remembering how good it feels to feel light. Notice your energy after meals. Do you feel alert and comfortable or heavy and sluggish? Track your sleep quality. Many people find they sleep better when they're not overfull at night. Notice your digestion and whether you experience less bloating or discomfort. This isn't about deprivation or leaving yourself hungry. If you feel genuinely hungry an hour after eating, you may have stopped too soon, and that's okay. You'll adjust with practice. The goal is satisfaction without excess, not a miracle. But for many elders, it fits gently into everyday life and creates a noticeable difference in how they feel. The next practice takes things one step further. It's not about how much you eat, but what you eat and when, in a way that seems to set your entire day on a foundation of balance and calm. This is the practice of starting your day with warm miso soup and ending it with green tea. Simple, light, traditional foods that many Japanese elders say keep them feeling grounded, hydrated, and balanced through every season of life. Here's why it helps. Miso soup is warm, hydrating, and filled with fermented soybeans that support your gut with beneficial bacteria. It's savory and satisfying, so it helps you feel full without spiking your blood sugar, the way sweet or starchy breakfasts do. The warmth gently wakes up your digestive system. The soup's volume fills your stomach, naturally reducing how much you eat afterward. Green tea, especially in the evening, provides gentle antioxidants without caffeine overload. It hydrates you, supports calm digestion, and creates a ritual of closing your day. A signal to your body that the eating window is done and it's time to shift toward rest and repair. Together, these two practices bookend your day with warmth, lightness, and balance. They help regulate your appetite naturally, support your gut health, keep you hydrated, and create a rhythm that many Japanese elders credit with their sustained vitality. How to practice the miso soup and green tea ritual. Drink miso soup first thing in the morning, either on its own or as a starter before your main breakfast. Drink green tea in the late afternoon or evening, ideally an hour or two before bed if you're sensitive to even small amounts of caffeine. Heat water until it's just below boiling. Stir in about 1 to 2 tablespoons of miso paste per cup of water. You can add extras like seaweed, tofu cubes, green onions, or mushrooms, but the simplest version is just miso and water. Never boil the miso directly. It kills the beneficial bacteria. Just stir it into hot water. Steep 1 teaspoon of loose green tea or 1 tea bag in water that's around 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, hot but not boiling, for 2 to 3 minutes. If the tea tastes bitter, your water was too hot or you steeped it too long. It should taste smooth and slightly grassy. 1 bowl of miso soup in the morning, about 1 to 1.5 cups. 1 or 2 cups of green tea in the evening. Simple, repeatable, easy to remember. Practice this daily. Many people start with just the morning miso soup for the first week to get used to a savory breakfast, then add the evening tea once the morning habit feels natural. If you're not used to savory foods in the morning, this might feel strange at first. Give it 3 to 5 days. Most people find that savory breakfasts leave them feeling more stable and less hungry than sweet or carb-heavy options. You can still eat your regular breakfast after the soup. The soup just becomes a warm, grounding starter. I remember Hiroshi, 69, who adopted this ritual after years of coffee and toast breakfasts that left him jittery and crashing by mid-morning. He started drinking miso soup first, then a lighter breakfast afterward. He told me that his digestion improved immediately, his energy felt steady through the morning, and he naturally stopped craving sweets in the afternoon. The evening tea became his favorite part of the day. A signal that the kitchen was closed and it was time to wind down. Notice your morning energy and whether you feel hungry or satisfied through the morning. Track your digestion. Many people experience less bloating and more regular bowel movements. Notice your sleep quality, especially if you add the evening tea ritual. Notice whether your cravings for sweets or processed foods diminish over time. Miso is high in sodium, so if you have high blood pressure or need to watch your salt intake, use low-sodium miso or reduce the amount you use. Green tea contains some caffeine, so if you're very sensitive, stop drinking it by mid-afternoon. These are traditional habits, not magic bullets, but many elders find they fit easily into daily life and create a gentle, supportive structure that makes healthier eating feel natural rather than forced. Before you start incorporating these Japanese practices, let's talk about a few important safety considerations and how to adapt them to your specific needs. Miso soup and traditional Japanese pickles can be high in sodium. If you have high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney concerns, talk with your doctor before adding miso regularly. You can also look for low-sodium miso paste, which is widely available, or simply use less paste per serving. Don't add extra salt to your meals on days when you have miso soup. Miso is made from fermented soybeans. If you have a soy allergy, this practice won't work for you as written. Some people use bone broth or vegetable broth as a morning alternative. It provides similar warmth and hydration without the soy. If you add fish or seafood to your miso soup and have allergies, obviously avoid those ingredients. Seaweed, often added to miso soup, is very high in iodine. Most people tolerate it fine, but if you have thyroid issues or take thyroid medication, check with your doctor about how much seaweed is safe for you. Too much iodine can interfere with thyroid function in sensitive individuals. If you take medications with food, continue doing so. The miso soup can be part of that meal. You don't need to drink it on an empty stomach if that conflicts with your medication schedule. Similarly, if you take evening medications, the green tea can be consumed around the same time. Just avoid drinking green tea within 1 to 2 hours of taking iron. Supplements, as tea can reduce iron absorption. If you're adding warm soups and teas, make sure you're still drinking enough plain water throughout the day. Warm beverages support hydration but shouldn't replace water entirely. Also, if you experience reflux, wait at least 30 minutes after drinking miso soup or tea before lying down. Stay upright to let gravity help with digestion. If you're not used to eating this way, start slowly. Try the morning miso soup just twice a week for the first week, then increase frequency as you get comfortable. Don't force yourself to overhaul everything at once. These practices work best when they feel natural and enjoyable, not like a chore. Remember, these are traditional habits, not medical prescriptions. They've worked well for millions of people over generations, but everyone's body is different. Always adapt to your comfort, your doctor's advice, and what feels genuinely sustainable for you. Let's take a moment to understand why these practices seem to work, explained simply without getting too technical. Eating slower and to 80% fullness helps stabilize your blood sugar. When you eat quickly and past fullness, your blood sugar spikes sharply, triggering a large insulin response. Over time, this pattern can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and chronic inflammation. Eating slower gives your body time to signal satiety before you overeat, and stopping at 80% prevents the metabolic stress of excess food volume. Warm soups at the start of meals increase satiety and improve digestion. The warmth and liquid volume fill your stomach, sending fullness signals to your brain before you've consumed many calories. This naturally reduces how much you eat overall. Warm liquids also stimulate digestive enzyme production, helping your body break down food more efficiently. Fermented foods like miso contain beneficial bacteria that support your gut microbiome. A healthy gut microbiome is linked to better digestion, reduced inflammation, stronger immune function, and even improved mood and mental clarity. The fermentation process also makes nutrients more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use them more easily. Sea vegetables like seaweed provide trace minerals including iodine, magnesium, and calcium that many people become deficient in as they age. These minerals support thyroid function, bone health, and cellular metabolism. Seaweed is also high in fiber, which supports gut health and steady blood sugar. Green tea contains catechins, a type of antioxidant that may help protect your cells from oxidative stress, the kind of cellular damage that accumulates with age and contributes to chronic diseases. Green tea also contains L-theanine, an amino acid that promotes calm focus without drowsiness, which is why many people find evening tea helps them wind down without feeling sedated. While individual traditions vary, these mechanisms are well documented in modern wellness research. The practices themselves are simple and time-tested. The science simply helps us understand why they seem to work so consistently across large populations and long periods of time. Let's create a realistic, step-by-step plan for integrating these Japanese practices into your daily life. 14-day starter plan, days 1 to 3. Start with just the morning miso soup. Prepare it first thing, drink it slowly, then wait 10 to 15 minutes before eating your usual breakfast. The goal is to get comfortable with a savory morning drink. You're not changing anything else yet, just adding this one warm, grounding ritual. Days 4 to 7. Continue the morning miso soup. Now add one additional element. Practice eating your main meals slightly slower. Put your utensils down between every few bites. Chew thoroughly. Notice when you start feeling satisfied rather than rushing through. Days 8 to 10. Continue morning miso soup and slower eating. Now add the evening green tea ritual. Brew 1 cup of green tea about 1 to 2 hours before bed. Make it a calm, intentional moment. No screens, just you and the tea. This marks the end of your eating window for the day. Days 11 to 14. Continue all of the above. Now practice harahachi-bu at dinner. Serve yourself slightly less than usual. Eat slowly. Stop when you feel satisfied but not full. Track how you feel afterward. Lighter, calmer, more comfortable. What to track during these 2 weeks? Morning energy levels, post-meal comfort, afternoon cravings, evening hunger, and sleep quality. Keep simple notes. Just 1 word per day if that's easier. Light, steady, comfortable, or tired, bloated, restless. This helps you see patterns. Weeks 3 to 4. By now, morning miso soup and evening green tea should feel like habits. Continue those daily. Focus on practicing harahachi-bu at lunch as well as dinner. Start noticing your natural hunger cues. Are you eating because you're truly hungry or out of habit or boredom? Weeks 5 to 6. Add mindfulness to your eating. Before each meal, take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, how hungry am I right now? During the meal, pause halfway and check in. Am I starting to feel satisfied? After the meal, do I feel light and comfortable? This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. Optional addition, if you're feeling good with these practices, consider adding a short walk after dinner, 10 to 15 minutes, nothing strenuous, just gentle movement to support digestion and mark the transition from eating time to evening rest time. Once a week, write down one thing you notice. Maybe it's less heaviness after meals, right? Or clearer mornings, or sleeping deeper. These small observations add up and help you stay motivated when you see progress. Today we covered 5 common food habits that may quietly accelerate aging after 60. Processed meats that stiffen blood vessels, sugary drinks that trigger inflammation, late-night snacking that disrupts deep sleep, refined grains that spike blood sugar, and overeating out of habit that strains your entire system. Then we looked at 2 Japanese practices that seem to do the opposite: hajahachi-bu, the gentle art of eating until 80% full, and the daily ritual of morning miso soup and evening green tea that bookend your day with warmth, balance, and calm. Remember, the goal isn't to fear food or overcorrect. It's not about perfection. It's about observing how your body responds, adapting with kindness, and choosing what genuinely nourishes you at this stage of life. Small shifts, practiced consistently, create remarkable changes over time. Which of these 2 Japanese practices will you try first? Harahachi-bu or the miso and green tea ritual? Comment below, and after a week, come back and reply to your own comment with just one word: lighter, steadier, or calmer. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to this channel. Next week, we'll explore another simple Japanese breakfast ritual that many elders say helps them feel grounded and energized all day long. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.